afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, amazing Propagandacast. Me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda. Off here to 1 vs 1 on the newly updated Langraskaya. In the north, it is Jimmy fighting for America, freedom, democracy. The 2nd Armored Division taking on the Germans on the command here of Comrade Dyatlov. Fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland here with Osttruppen doctrine immediately chosen. Forming up the 352nd Infantry Division versus Jimmy with recon support, heavy carrier and airborne. We got Panzergrenadier Infantry Panzerfaust versus infantry and machine gun bulletins there. And as always, please remember to like, subscribe and share and press that bell button so you get those updates more commonly. Also, big thanks to Simon for donating and supporting the Propagandacast, allowing me to keep doing this day after day. So big thanks to you, Simon, for choosing to spend your hard-earned money on me. You're part of my company of heroes. We got a dub right out here for Jimmy. Oh, hang on. Dyatlov start here for Jimmy, noting that some of the changes here basically amounts to how some of the points in the north has actually been changed out. For example, this has been removed, shifted over here. Plus, the area around here, for example, has been shifted up. Similarly here. And there's also a few changes here. But also there, for example. So, some areas have been more defensible. The buildings here have also received some notable change. And I think there's been some slight changes as well. So, overall, the map has seen some larger revisions, which also be interesting. Also, the colour scheme of the map is previously used to be sort of, shall I say, much more yellowish map. Now it's much greener, so shall I say, lower light as well. We got a double Osttruppen start here. Grenadiers for Dyatlov. No MD42s of yet, but the extra Osttruppen allowed to get more territory, of course, play more aggressively in that sense versus opponent. We got one Osttruppen score on the west, one in the east. Grenadiers are nearby to support the Osttruppen as well. The Russians there fighting up as well. First shot's fine. Of course, previously it used to be here. Now it's up there. Slightly changes things and. And he got stuck there. Choosing points there. Skirmish on the west if we got Riflemen versus the Osttruppen. If the Osttruppen get into good position, they can defeat the Riflemen. The Osttruppen will lose pretty hard. Back here, second gun is got for Dyatlov. Still on the MD42. We got Osttruppen versus Riflemen in the far east. Jimmy's Riflemen are routed in the face of Dyatlov's bold infantry push. At the same time, Pioneer's going for the cover point. We can see Dyatlov is going for an aggressive, disruptive play here, using this. And again, he's basically relying on the faster, larger numbers there of the Osttruppen just again be able to play his units more aggressively here versus Jimmy. Of course, I do feel like without an MD42 at some point he could get bowled over there by Jimmy down the road. So it's not without a see what Dyatlov is doing and could very well again, leave him a bit sad. We got fast hit though for Dyatlov, sees an eastern point here. Likely might be going here for some sort of tier 2 rush, but most tend to involve, bunch of MD42s. Dyatlov just seems to be going for a mix of Osttruppen Grenadiers and then fast. Got the point there. But he's losing the western fuel point. This getting the eastern fuel point in this regard again is opening their head slipped. Jimmy slightly off guard and allowed to seize the eastern one more easily. The problem doesn't help the Russians got themselves stuck behind some barbed wire on a tractor. Take almost down there for Dyatlov. Ground the point up here. Rifleman moving up, seizing the point here. Got the point there. Rifleman westwards. Seizing here, and light skirmishing a rifle pushed back by the Osttruppen. Mentioned enough, not keen on closing in there too easily. Could try and deal with the rifleman there. Probably going to go for some fast Panzer Grenadiers here, since he does have the bulletins for him. It does seem like this sort of strategy, though again, no machine gun, instead a mix of Grenadiers and Osttruppen, which does make it slightly stand out there compared with the usual German openings. You can go for the Panzer Grenadiers now. We'll hope to see if that is what Dyatlov actually aims for. Grenadiers pushing there for the cover point. A Rifleman routing there, go Rifleman on the other side, he under fire as well. Grenadier pushing in, no sign yet though of the picks there from Dyatlov. Maybe it wasn't what he was planning in the end. Hard to say here versus Jimmy, because this is a rather off-market strategy here that Dyatlov is acting versus Jimmy, who's taking, well, also it's a pretty infantry-heavy strategy. For Rifleman build is actually not too common into the Lieutenant. Of course, it's fast, it gets a lot of infantry. There you go, Dyatlov does go for the Panzer Grenadiers in the end. Arguably could act them out faster. No light machine guns either for the... Oh, there we go. One squad is upgrading. Very good. Grenadiers squad needs to retreat as Jimmy strikes hard for democracy. Grenadiers are being outmaneuvered by the Rifleman. Good playing there by Jimmy, leaving Dyatlov there a bit flat-footed. Panzer Grenadier there almost done for Dyatlov. Bunker up as well. They're part healing for his troops. And there you go. Panzer Grenadier squad Gefechtsbereit. Seizing the northeastern point for the Osttruppen. So a bit of a rarer split here of Langraskaya. Normally it's more like, east goes north, south goes to the west. There is fuel point go to the western play, southern play. But in this case, the western one is going to the northern player, and the eastern one's actually going to the southern player. We can see the Jimmy's now quickly outmaneuvering here, and we can see now Dyatlov's lack of a machine gun does mean he's got some issues there holding up and containing Jimmy's at times. And he found himself quite rapidly outmaneuvered too. Now Jimmy now has the Lieutenant +4 rifle squads and the reactions. He's got a lot more moving elements now than Dyatlov. Again, initially had the advantage of the extra Osttruppen, but again, as the game goes on and the Osttruppen lacking machine guns to back them up, Jimmy is quickly gaining infantry and map supremacy once more versus Dyatlov. So again, while an interesting and again bit offbeat strategy here from Dyatlov, it does have some elements to it which definitely makes it a bit tricky to sort of execute properly, and makes it a bit harder to recommend to other people, as you might notice. Still, Dyatlov is undeterred, also making use of the entrenching tools here to have the barbed wire being laid down by the Pentagon. He's very rare sight to see active Pentagons doing any kind of work like that, but it does highlight again that Dyatlov again is a bit sharper than your average player. Good ability usage tend to be one of the ways to sort of show, say, notice players actually being, better than average. It's just like, if they're actually using their abilities and using them consistently, they're usually at least pretty good on some level. Nothing further out there. Is he planning some sort of tier 3 rush here? I mean, that'd be pretty ambitious by Dyatlov. Would be pretty ambitious. And we're not seeing any like to make a nice company, and still like to see a heavy machine gun team out from him though. Anyways, mechanized platoon command post ready. We got recon support as well for Jimmy and the 2nd Armored. Here's the 352nd Infantry Division continuing to hold the line here for Deutschland. Pushing across here broadly now. Panzers leading the western spearhead, Osttruppen in the centre, and infantry with Osttruppen backing up here in the right flank with a lot of light machine guns, making it harder there for Jimmy to charge at him. Got a 5th couple on the way there for Jimmy, of course a bit slow to build now. Like to make a nice company. Almost done for Dyatlov. Almost done. Panzers there versus double rifle squads. If we were to get within medium range, and the Panzers might have a chance there, but at long range with 2 rifle squads, the Pentagon is ultimately forced to retreat there, and Dyatlov I think made the right decision just buggering out of there. Jimmy though is getting emboldened there with his tactics, more and more bunching up his troops, highlighting Dyatlov really could benefit from an MG42 here. Instead he's going for the 2-2. Jimmy going straight for the Stuart light tank, which would definitely make his 2-2 less impactful. At least it's going to be requiring a lot more corner management. And of course also possibility, of course this is something I've obviously been overlooking, he might be planning using the supply drop to provide him with a machine gun and a pack, for example, so that might also explain why he's not going for the early MG42. Though again, he would benefit from it, basically just wants that MG34 and no more. But again, MG34, 42 I think would still be a good combo there for the Dyatlov, and still 2 machine guns would be overall pretty good. But I can see the logic then, maybe just trying to rely more on the supply drop. Nope, goes to the pack 40 instead, so otherwise that could have been an option, and who knows, he might still go for it. So we'll see there what ends up with Dyatlov. We shall see. Also worth noting here, S-marks around the carve point. Thumbs up. Quick way of sort of, shall we say, slowing down some of Jimmy's harassment there. Far west we've got Rifle versus the 2-2. The light punch spear wagon. Stuart light tank is out. Cancel the 5th cover there. He's now going for it again. Clearly he wanted the Stuart light tank over the machine gun. Some of these infantry there in a pretty tight position. They're being surrounded here by Jimmy's forces. Need to be careful. So we can see there's a small break at attempt by the Osttruppen to push away the Stuart and Panzerfaust. Also giving the gun at least more time to back into a safer position. West here we got Riflemen being engaged by 2-2 in the Pioneers before being pushed back. And there you go, he did actually Panzerfaust the Stuart light tank. Close one there though. Centre being seized, Communists being westwards there. Could do with either command bunker or half take. That I guess retreat to Grenadiers to reinforce them. Riflemen eastwards, securing the centre. Well, Dyatlov can go for the supply drop now if he wants to. Seizing the western points. Need to get that fuel point back, though he does risk falling behind Jimmy there aggressively. But again, he has been successfully also harassing Jimmy, so it's not like Jimmy is going to be immediately racing ahead, but he can connect his fuel point faster than, Dyatlov can just get the fuel point in the first place. Still, that's a lot of infantry, and there's still a noticeable lack of machine guns there from Dyatlov to deal with that. There we go. Dyatlov finally realizes he cannot skate on without an MG42 any longer here versus Jimmy. He needs to bring up something with some more sizable and furious firepower. And there go to 2 backing up the Panzers. They quickly giving them their combined arms bonus, making them harder to hit, but also just, move faster, and then it stops, and then they're exposed again. There you go, Pack 40 sitting up, 2 joining in. Chance of taking out the Stud, actually good chance with a bit of 2 damage. Piercing in some extra hits, and there you go, almost got it, and he gets the Stud. A fiendish combo there by Dyatlov leaves Jimmy's Stud light tank a smoking hulk of American exceptionalism. Pack 4 they're being pulled back, and the west we got Rifle moving up here. Osttruppen moving in quickly looking to occupy the house tonight. 2 Jimmys raiding raiders. No further take up there for Dyatlov, nothing further up there. MG42 setting out. 2-2 need repairs. Some intense action here between Jimmy and Dyatlov with some, again, bold tactics by Dyatlov. Now the 5th Cav on the way there for Jimmy to help further contain Dyatlov's infantry and also help deal with that light vehicle. Loads of light machine gun fire here. Panzer going to be reinforcing. Could take out now, try and set up for the Panzer Waffe. Jimmy, though, is definitely looking to harass himself, and he's not like to be taken up here. Nope. Just my imagination, it would seem. Osttruppen there being overwhelmed, surrounded by Jimmy's forces, and mistake there, possibly tactically by Dyatlov, allowing them to be easily overwhelmed. Trying to flank the 5th Cav there, instead ends in ignominious defeat there for the Grenadiers, and the MG42 now sitting up front of the 5th Cav and heavy cover is not going to have much better chance there. Oh my goodness, Dyatlov actually went for the artillery field officer. 2 thumbs up. It's such an overlooked unit then, particularly with people actually going for Osttruppen, so very nice there. And if you actually make good use of the abilities, like for example again, particularly inspiring aura, that could be some really good action there from Dyatlov, but nice to see there, nice to see. Got the officer sitting out there, Punny's been caught with the rifle out in the open. Dyatlov needs to hit back on the fuel there and need to deny to Demi, who's now getting 39, that is 3 times as much fuel than Dyatlov per minute, which means he can quickly push for tanks, and Dyatlov could then risk getting completely flooded by tanks. So fast tech, I think, is going to be a prerequisite soon here for Dyatlov. He wants a chance versus Jimmy and the 2nd Armoured. Back here, troops reinforcing. Panzer was there, there's the rifleman engaging up close. And there's a rifleman. And we got more rifle lieutenant about there. Need to get that fuel point back though, Dyatlov. Schnell. Brauchst gasoline. And there we go. We got airdrop coming group for Jimmy. Pack outs, of course, going to be a problem there because also just the paratroopers. It does also mean Jimmy's going to have an awful lot of infantry. We're talking 4 rifle squads plus the lieutenant. Admittedly, Dyatlov already also has a lot of infantry. 2 Osttruppen, 2 Grenadiers, Panzers as an officer. I mean, both sides are heavy on infantry here. Very heavy on infantry. Trying to get the lieutenants when we did get the 50 caliber. Though if you can grab it, that'd be pretty huge there for Dyatlov's one. Would leave Jimmy in a bit of a precarious situation. But there you go, rifle caught up the 2 MG42s, and that fact means the path to the 50 caliber is clear here for Dyatlov. And of course the ultimate pigger, that's going to be pretty great. And he's even calling smoke here just in case there's something hiding there. Tactically, very solid move. Assumes there might be something there, and of course just makes the right move in case there is. And of course if there isn't, I mean, no harm done. No harm done. So 2 thumbs up there to Dyatlov again for a tactically solid mood. Back here, troops reinforcing. No tech yet there for Dyatlov. Jimmy neither is taking up. Could be a bit faster there, to be honest. Certainly squandering some potential options there versus Dyatlov and the 352nd Infantry Division, the division which held Omaha Beach in Normandy. Fun fact. Lieutenant here versus the officer in the 2-2. Paratrooper was there being equipped with a brown light machine gun. Officer moving ahead here. Might want to pop diversion here to make him A harder to kill, but also boost his damage output versus the paratroopers. I'm just going to get close. Pop diversion, Dyatlov. Diversion. Ah, nuts. He didn't go for it, did he? And he might in fact lose up the officer instead. That was, yeah, not too good there by Dyatlov. Not too good. Slightly downwards pointing from. Not entirely down, but you know, it's sort of edging towards it. That was a bit sloppy, but you know, not a huge deal as opposed to the bigger picture. I mean, Dyatlov's still doing a lot of things right, but I do wish he'd done more with that officer personally. Machine guns here forming up a hard point in the centre there with a pack out. This is a bit more dangerous for Dyatlov, to be honest. Plus, recon support means cluster bombs. So I mean, there's a lot of risk. And as you might also notice, the 50 caliber is a lot faster than the MG42. Oh, and he's got more corners from the machine gun, though, managed to somehow dodge it all, which is quite impressive. Pioneers in the rifle Osttruppen being pushed back. Dyatlov taking a lot of damage, still not taking up. Neither is Jimmy, though, so I guess there's still a shot there for Dyatlov and the 352nd. Troops reinforcing. Got 300 points left there for Jamie. So only one place where Dyatlov is leading over Jamie. That is victory points. Few points once they gain the situation. Actually seems to me kind of catch that then somewhat nicely. So it might just basically come down to who actually bloody well takes up faster than the other. So far neither side seems to be in a particular rush there, which is a bit interesting, particularly with Dyatlov having already executed Tier 2 rush, and then doesn't, you know, rush a bit fast for the other one, or at least gets very relaxed about it. Panzer, they're quickly making some quick hits, then moving about, then again making use of their speed boost near the 2-2. Very good over there by Dyatlov. Tactically very sound. Back here, troops reinforcing, still no attack, but there you go. Jamie is finally taking out, meaning he does have the chance of getting out tanks before Dyatlov, and this could very well bite Dyatlov thoroughly in the ass. There you go, bang grenade. Ooh. Actually almost pulled it off there. Damn impressive to do. They're not quite within range, although I think could have a chance of getting out of weapon. For some reason, Dieter just got too close to the grenade and got some dirt in his eyes. My God, I can't see. Why didn't you warn me about the grenade? We did. We yelled Granate. Well, you know, I saw you throw it at the enemy. We did, but I was so close. Well, why don't you think before the warning, you idiot? Paratroopers heading out. Grenadiers counter-attacking. Finally got taken there for Dyatlov as well. And Deutschland. Back here, healing enforcement. We got Panzerlevers wrapping up close. Geballte Ladung. Also not the Deutschland, you might catch him on the retreat there if his opponent's a bit too quick on the retreat button there. Once a good whap, there we go. Nice kill there for Dyatlov. For Deutschland. Leaving Jamie short one infantry squad. Still, Jamie will be hitting him fast with the chance there. Osttruppen quickly setting up with the 5th Cavalry there. Oh, getting hit by another 5th Cavalry though, rather ruins that bit. Tech almost done. Cluster bombs again. Almost got the Ralph squad there. Pack out and a nice hit. Oh, he is calling it in there. I feel like there's some sort of thought process here where something got missed for Jimmy. There's some sort of plan, but it didn't quite pan out. That was a misclick. I have to say, either way, that was kind of a miffed landing there with the cluster bombs. I suppose you can call them blunder bombs then. Or bluster bombs. Going straight for the cockpit there, Marcher as well. Pretty much just disarming Dyatlov's S-Marcher. There you go. Panzergrenadier leading a swift and furious counterattack here throughout the Rearslans. Jimmy leads heading to the west. No support core yet. I mean, is Dyatlov planning to add no tier 4 here, so? I mean, that could be an option, though it would be a bit particular. Panzer moving up through the centre. East side there, we got the 5th Cavalry moving up there, manned by Osttruppen. I mean, of course, for the Osttruppen, faster tier 4 does make sense, given Max's light machine guns or whatnot, but, you know, at least you could press the button and get the building started as well then. Jimmy, though, is suffering manpower bleeding, and that is helping out Dyatlov because that makes it harder for Jimmy to actually push for a tank. Because right now, if he hadn't been suffering so badly there, he could have gone for a pretty fast Sherman and given Dyatlov a hard time. But again, he hasn't, so that is actually giving Dyatlov more time to do what he wants. So maybe again, get out some tanks before Jimmy, since Dyatlov is finding, I would say, much more economically in terms of manpower. He's avoiding more senseless engagements and suffering higher casualties there. So that is something there that works out in Dyatlov's favour, though still, he still needs to be able to do something with it, otherwise it doesn't matter. That's kind of where Dyatlov is slightly hitting a problem there. He's not doing anything with it. We got the mortar on the way, though, that's something. Before to come on the left flank, but there we go. We got a deep flank here with Jamie. 2 thumbs up, though. Not fast enough there. Oh. Panned out there, panned out, and forcing the machine gun to retreat. Also in the eastern field, or western field, but open though. Dyatlov himself, and then he's hitting the eastern one with his Osttruppen. Out of range of the 5th Cavalry, very nice. Of course, Lieutenant the bazooka prevents the 2-2 from intervening, at least not too easily. Close going to go for a tank there. Dyatlov still hasn't done anything. Well, it's a Pommer Corps or taking up, and there we go. We do get tier 4 there from Dyatlov. The heavy Panzer Corps is Dyatlov's final destination, it would seem. His Ultima Thule. We got 5th Cavalry there as the rifleman. Sending things southwards. Take absolutely happening. Troops in reinforcing. Pirates were there trying the grenade on the retreat, but didn't quite pan out. They're a bit too slow there for Jimmy to really do anything. Morton the target spot. Dyatlov is losing a lot of ground fast here, as Jimmy is able to successfully launch a series of pinpoint attacks here and pretty much all fronts against Dyatlov and just completely push him back, punishing for extending, and also he's not being fast with his tech and panzers. This silly git. So right now, Dyatlov's going to have to launch a pretty effective counterattack, and there you go. Jimmy finds getting out tanked, but I will say again, very slow. In fact, he's got fuel now for 2 Shermans easily. Could again preserved his manpower better and just gotten out more tanks by now. So that is a bit sloppy there, I would argue. A Panzer Corps almost done. Panther would be a good pick first off, considering the timing. Then you could also up with a Sturmpanzer, put pressure on Jimmy's infantry support weapons. But I do think a Panther would be a good first pick there by Dyatlov on the 352nd. Good to on the right flank, skirmishing there with American infantry. A Panzer Corps, moments away there from the Panther, the Panzerkampfwagen 5. Sherman out there for Jimmy, adding the 50 caliber on top, very good. Osttruppen as the Major, we are roughly a minute and a half away at least with the current fuel income there for Dyatlov to get the Panther out. Of course, grabbing sufficient points fast enough, of course, will open up for a slightly faster Panther. Artillery raining down here for the Major, right on top of the Dyatlov support weapons, though most of the artillery strikes happen to be a bit off mark. Much to, I imagine, the relief of Dyatlov and his men, in particular his men. Gun has been gated by the Sherman. Morgan is being close. There you go, Panther the Sherman, but obviously lacks some damage, really damaged the engine, and thusly making a bit lesser threat there to Dyatlov. There you go, second Panther first. Does the trick. Pack 4 lands good here in the rear of the Sherman though. Another hit, machine could move ahead to the going straight here for the pack howitzer. A seat opportunity here by Dyatlov. Very good, they're very good. Of course, need to cover the 5th caliber, and that's probably where they might run some issues. This is where the officer has been great to smoke it out. But I like the idea though, I like the idea. Also, I'm holding off the western field point there, and he goes for the Sturmpanzer now. With the Sherman on the field, the potential of Jacksons and more Shermans to follow up. I feel like the Sturmpanzer here is a bit of a not recommendable pick there by Dyatlov, but I guess it is ultimately, of course, Dyatlov's decision. But I feel like a Panther would be the better first pick. We also then follow up with a Sturmpanzer to back it up here. Panzer there, 26 kills, 2 backing up again, making them hard to kill for the Raven. Again, they gain, I think, a roughly 20% received action bonus, at least something like that. Again, they just become hard to kill, so that is a really good bonus to have any vehicles. Ends up retreating though, decides it's a bit too much there. Jimmy's still in control of most of the map here. Dyatlov struggling to push back, control there, and gain it for the fatherland. But the Sturmpanzer will make things a lot harder for Jimmy's infantry and support weapons. Much harder. There you go, though. Pioneers moving out. Sturmpanzer effective right. So add the pinlight machine for a bit of added anti-infantry. Sturmpanzer out, 50 caliber under fire. That 50 caliber is very quick to get away once to see what's coming on the horizon. Hey Carl, yeah, isn't that like a bunker buster? Oh shit. Get out! Packard's also getting the devil out of there. Did he lose the Sherman? I guess he did. Might have hit a mine or something. In which case, thumbs up to Dyatlov for mining. Could also win the pack. Either way, though, Sherman down is actually pretty big. That actually makes the Sturmpanzer, of course, much more understandable. Guess I missed that out. That's embarrassing, to be honest. Either way, though, Jimmy's now finding himself bullied within his own base by Sturmpanzer. Just like everyone's running away as if there was a cockroach, except cockroaches don't have bloody 150mm guns and speak German. At least not the ones I know of. Jackson moving out there for Jimmy. Sturmpanzers need to get out of there. Dyatlov might have pushed his luck a bit too far still. It is very fun to see just how Jimmy pretty much just runs everything to the very farthest edge of his base to avoid the Sturmpanzer until he got the Jackson out there. So that, I suppose, turned out to be a lot better than you could have figured. Sturmpanzer getting out of the Pack 40 grenadiers coming here, preventing a pursuit there by Jimmy's tank destroyer. Or at least making it very much more hazardous. Grenades off here, they almost got the Osttruppen. Had grenades up here, I think, for one, maybe? And just the paratrooper popping a grenade then. 5th Guard moving up. And these covering the flank of the Pack 40, and the Pack 40 brings in sort of support from the Jackson eastly, and the Sturmpanzer basically covers the other half. So right now, Jamie is in a bit of a tight spot. The Sturmpanzer has proven to be a frightening spectre for him to deal with. And again, the lack of armor on the field and the overall laxity in getting it out there has proven to be a bit of a problem there for Jimmy. Moving westwards there. Machine gun holding up in a rather dilapidated building. Troops in reinforcing. Sturmpanzer falling back here for Dyatlov. 27 kills on the Panzer gun view, opening up the rations there. Getting up close. And nosing them down. Well laid, accurate find. There you go. Man lost there for Jimmy and the 2nd Armoured. And the West 2 running straight to the Jackson tank destroyer. Not exactly the happiest encounter there for Dyatlov's armoured car crew. And of course now the Jackson's going straight for the Sturmpanzer here, leaving a bit of a hold in flank. Decides not to pursue, perhaps worried about telemines or something else, and of course the Pack 40. Very wise decision there by Jimmy. 31 kills on the Panther there, certainly proving their worth here for the fatherland. And we got Pathfinders out for Jimmy now. Rather late pick there. Rather late pick. Surprised he hasn't tried going for the captain to maybe get out some anti-tank. And so again, Jimmy's manpower bleeding remains a bit of a contentious problem for him. Season Eastern Point. More pioneers for Dyatlov to help repair stuff. Very good pick there, very good. Pack 40 being pursued by angry paratroopers. 16 kills in service of democracy. Pathfinder's on the eastern side. Machine gun there. Tight spot there, and we got cluster bombs in to clear it out. Very hard. Yeah, Dyatlov is not even bothering there, I think. Pretty much realizing we did get it out, there's a chance they'd be killed anyways, and he just hand over the 5th Guard to his opponent, so he pretty much just goes, yeah, don't worry, that house is made of super concrete, yeah, don't worry, it can take it. Second Pack 40 out there for Dyatlov. Maybe not planning for a Panther after all. Sturmpanzer's 3 kills, but is doing some damage. 299 versus 168. Dyatlov might want to do something a bit right around this victory point soon. And also switch back control there from Jimmy once more. One Osttruppen squad has been upgraded with the light machine guns there. Not any actual Osttruppen light guns that make do with the less effective machine guns than the MG42. MG44 is the lucky or possibly just captured weapons like, you know, Soviet DP light machine guns or Czechoslovakian light machine guns, which were actually what the Bren gun were based off. It's a little fun fact there. But MG42s likely would not have been something they given access so easily. Unless it's someone managed to get the holes, you know, from someone who died with it. Counter battery on it? Yeah, that feels like a waste there to me, to be honest. Like, it's just not a good ability, and honestly, they just need to replace it with something better. Machine gun crewed by Panzer gun viewer. There you go. Counter barrage order counted. Giving it regular fire again. You can soon go for a Panther, then again I think a Panther would be a good tool to support Dyatlov's advances and of course put pressure down on Jimmy's armor. Jimmy needs more tanks out of tank destroyers, so definitely should not be just sticking to one armored piece at a time. When he's flanking the 5th Cavalry, got it, very good. Sturmpanzer getting veterans 1 here. Going for the Jackson there with it, backed up with Pack 40s. Good hit on the paratroopers there. Shamble on the way there for Jamie and the 2nd Armoured. Very good, very good. Mortar with 3 kills, close to veterans 2. Back to counter barrage in the hopes that it actually does something. And I suppose to the surprise of no one, but really nothing happens. Fifth cover, they're dealing with a rifleman. Can soon go for a Panther. He could also theoretically go for another one. There's another Sturmpanzer. I mean, that'd be a bit cheeky, but, you know, it could work out, I suppose. But I think a Panther will be the better pick here for Dyatlov. Needs to get control of those victory points, needs to control the map, and needs to hurt Jimmy properly. And Jimmy, of course, needs to, you know, finish off Dyatlov as well before he bleeds out victory points. Good assault there from the flank, I think, will do the trick. So much infantry, though. Top ceiling reinforcing. Packs on watch. But there we go. Counter barrage enacted. Will it have an impact? Will it do something? Will it actually, you know, make a difference? So far, not really. Smoke screen there from the Sherman on the packs. Very good. Though the packs, Sherman's taking a lot of damage already. Decent hit there, I guess. Gunnery's moving up. Cut those paratroopers in the east. Grenades off here. Jackson taking a lot of damage there from Dyatlov's packs. Dyatlov could go for the Panther now if he has the population for it, which it turns out he doesn't. Pack house just gets out of range of the pack mortar, and at that point again, counter barrage ends up once more being kind of a meh ability. Sturmpanzer moving up, engaging, rough and routed. 6 kills, halfway to 82 gunners on the front of the pack howitzer. Needs to be got MG4 holding up a large American advance there by Jimmy. His paratroopers, rifling his Pathfinders, all pinned down. Sturmpanzer going straight for the Sherman. Almost got it there. Once more, Jimmy finds himself bullied within his own base by the Sturmpanzer. Dyatlov's tactics knows no limits, no decency. Shoots, and there you go, Sherman out and abandoned. Pack 40 moving up, let's back it up. Choose their pin down.
Enemies are swarming one of our emplacements.
We got 231 to 168. Panther on the way there for Dyatlov and for Deutschland. We got another airdrop coming group here for Jimmy in the hopes that can someone turn this down. Oh, the Jackson caught up the pack 40s. He didn't expect this. He did not anticipate it. And the Jackson is down, leaving Jimmy now defenseless. GG from Jimmy. It's realizing the Sturmpanzer is going to roll over him like a wet blanket wrapped around a boulder. So there we go. GG, game over. Loss there for Jimmy. A victory for Dyatlov. A victory for the Sturmpanzer and the Osttruppen Doctrine. A spectacular fight right here on Langraskaya. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell friends, tell family, but don't tell your enemies. This is Imperial Links. Cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.